I am going to turn it over to you, Ryan. And first I want to thank you for doing the webinar with us today. We really appreciate that.
My pleasure. Thanks for having us. We appreciate the partnership that Sana has with Interdyne Artists. And for everybody, hi, my name is Ryan Steigerwald with Sana Commerce. Today we're going to cover four main areas: e-commerce for both distributors and manufacturers, the biggest obstacles for digital transformation, and then finally how Sana can help you come out on top. As you can see, the vast majority of B2B businesses have goals that align with e-commerce 1.0 and are still in a pretty foundational phase of e-commerce. Nearly 40% are embracing sales-focused e-commerce goals by upgrading from their first generation web store. But it's clear that most brands are stuck somewhere between e-commerce 1.0 and 2.0, and only 1 in 5 businesses have adopted a plan that provides their clients with a personalized approach. The B2B companies that are stuck at e-commerce 1.0 and 2.0 are focused less on how they can use e-commerce as a way to structurally transform their business model and more on achieving short-term targets and results. While 84% indicated that they are currently implementing or have operated a web store, most are still focusing on e-commerce 2.0 objectives. 48% identifying that their intent is to drive sales, being the top priority with their B2B e-commerce solution. As we move forward toward e-commerce 3.0, more important than driving sales, e-commerce initiatives are to be motivated by the need to improve customer experience and overall business efficiency. Goals that, done well, will also lead to increased sales. The notion of all those buzzwords sounds great, revolutionary even, but the B2B world is broad and distributors have particular pains and use cases for e-commerce. Let's dive into what separates distributors from the B2B industry overall and how they stack up and what specific challenges they're facing. Consistent with the rest of the B2B space, distributors seem to be largely in the e-commerce 1.0 and 2.0 phase, or somewhere in between. Compared to the 84% of B2B organizations with web stores, distributors seem to be a bit further behind, with only 62% in that category, but quickly catching on as 80% are planning to enter the e-commerce space within the next 2 years. Less than 50% of B2B brands overall are leveraging e-commerce primarily to drive sales. In distribution, this number jumps to 71, suggesting that among those who do have a web store, there's a larger percent of organizations in the e-commerce 2.0 phase. From this data, we can draw the conclusion that fewer distributors are understanding the importance of e-commerce compared to B2B brands, but those who do are moving beyond first-generation approaches and are more focused on e-commerce 2.0 goals. This is promising, of course, but distributors' challenges don't stop with sales. Many suppliers are already eliminating the need for distributors by selling directly to retailers and/or end customers. This is forcing distributors to respond by specializing their service and fighting to prove their value. However, there is a $6.6 trillion opportunity for distributors online. So how do they add value to keep their percentage of that opportunity? Distributors are fighting to prove their value within a supply chain that is changing, and digital is at the center of this approach. Today, 68% of North American B2B manufacturers, distributors, and/or wholesalers are starting to sell directly to end customers. In turn, more than half of distributors are upgrading their infrastructure specifically to improve integration within their supplier systems. We're finding that a lot of distributors are dealing with multiple approaches to the customer, as you can see noted here through Amazon, Google, and various other avenues. Where businesses used to have only local competitors who they needed to contend with, e-commerce has reduced that barrier to entry, and now that competition is growing to a global level. Today, increased competition and challenging marketplaces are the primary reasons many B2B organizations are failing to meet their e-commerce goals. As we've seen, distributors have even more obstacles to contend with. Distributors are, for the most part, doing their part to embrace e-commerce and remain an invaluable part of the supply chain. But as more businesses adopt and develop e-commerce platforms, it will no longer be enough to just have a web store. Offering an attractive, high-quality integrated web store with a stellar customer experience is becoming essential for those companies that truly want to differentiate themselves in their markets. So what's the risk? This means most are not tuned into what customers want or what customers are doing online. Customers' demands, at least the most basic ones, can be achieved pretty easily with the right data if you know how to use it. But if you're making changes to your web store that aren't data-driven, or if you're making changes at all, the success of your B2B e-commerce solution depends on a shot in the dark. And in recent studies, we've identified that less than half of B2B organizations with a web store are using data from their e-commerce platform to support or manage their key business drivers. Today, B2B buyers want more accurate and reliable product information. They want faster and more consistent web performance, an easy-to-navigate web store, including product catalogs, and a simplified order and payment functionality, all in all pointing to a more user-defined experience that provides them with information that's important to them and their buying experience. However, this is just the beginning. As e-commerce technology becomes more sophisticated, customers' demands will follow. Already, many are frustrated enough with existing experiences that they're willing to forego a lower-priced option for one that offers a better, more robust experience. But for distributors, knowing how to step into the e-commerce field without squandering an investment or underwhelming customers is just as important as knowing enough to go digital at all. In fact, distributors who step into the e-commerce space but do so unsuccessfully risk up to 4% of their yearly revenue. This means that if you're going to do e-commerce wrong, you may as well stick to offline sales, but you will be missing out on the ripe and growing opportunity e-commerce is presenting. Distributors are currently at a crossroads. Redefine your roles, service, and value proposition, or be replaced by the innovators who will. Ultimately, thriving in an increasingly digital age is not a question of offline versus online, or price versus customer experience. It's about making your workforce more efficient and your business more streamlined by treating digitalization as a tool rather than viewing it as a roadblock. So what about manufacturers? E-commerce is already changing the market as we know it. Our latest research indicates that nearly half of wholesalers are seeing manufacturers sell directly to end customers. It's not surprising. E-commerce offers a fantastic opportunity for manufacturers to increase margin by cutting out the middleman. Forbes predicts that the number of manufacturers selling direct to consumers will grow 71% this year alone. And while direct-to-consumer sales are driving more competition between manufacturers, distributors, and wholesalers, manufacturers are raking in a larger piece of the pie. For manufacturing businesses, developing technologies like Internet of Things, 3D printing, and AI are nothing new. 77% of companies across industries already use machine-to-machine as part of their e-commerce platform, and they plan to continue to use this technology in the future. The list of potential disruptors, which will only make competition that much steeper, continues to grow. The adoption of packaged ERPs and e-commerce solutions play a major role, but there is also considerable disruption being caused by advances in mobile technology, VR-enabled improvement like virtual stockrooms, and Internet of Things-driven capabilities like real-time remote inventory sensing. Manufacturers are largely ahead of the game adopting these technologies early and strategically. There's a fundamental shift in the manufacturing industry. The speed of business is picking up, with shorter product cycles and constant iteration, making it harder to stand out from the competition and maintain your competitive advantage, all while your customers' needs are changing too. This is all leading to a shift in focus for manufacturers from products to strong services. What servitization means for manufacturers is a chance to differentiate themselves. You're no longer competing solely on price and delivery speed. It's about the quality of your services and your customer experience. Your web store is a great platform for these services. This is doubly true if your web store is tightly integrated with your ERP. It means you can seamlessly provide your clients a one-stop shop with increased visibility, a self-service focus, and all on their time frame. Lean manufacturing and lean business process in general are all about one thing: eliminating the things that don't add value to your customer. It's all about adding more value while using fewer resources. This can include overproduction against plan, waiting time of operators and machines, unnecessary transportation, waste in the process itself, excess of stock material and components, or defects in quality. Agile manufacturing is all about the ability to adapt quickly to customer expectations. Manufacturers are and should be aiming to do both, to be lean and agile to maximize efficiency and customer satisfaction. So what are the obstacles in manufacturers' e-commerce acceleration? Well, 79% of manufacturers expect to spend more on e-commerce in 2019, with the majority planning to increase spending by 10 to 25%. And why, you ask? Their top e-commerce priorities are overwhelming. At an 81% increase in online sales and a 42% increase of traffic to their e-commerce sites, these numbers won't come easily. But additionally, there are challenges that threaten to dampen their success, even with all the promising effort these digital trends point to. Embracing digital technologies and e-commerce alike is the common thread we're seeing in today's manufacturing trends. Manufacturers are making a lot of moves in the right direction, outpacing competitors in the supply chain with direct-to-consumer sales, providing better e-commerce experiences, focusing on customer centricity, and improving the efficiency and agility of their process, to name a few. But there are also major roadblocks that hinder the manufacturers from achieving their full e-commerce potential and threaten to keep businesses stagnant from this point on, namely their data and the integrations required. Almost 80% of B2B businesses have challenges with client or product data. This all stems from complex and disparate systems, as well as a siloed process or siloed processes. The solution to the challenge is to go beyond interfacing systems with a smart integration that puts the focus of your e-commerce with your ERP system and the data within. It creates a single source of truth with one system for both maintaining your e-commerce store, fulfillment, and processing orders. That's where Sana fits in. According to our latest research, 36% of B2B businesses report that they are seeing an increasing presence in their domestic territories from online marketplaces. Examples of this would be Alibaba, eBay, Amazon Business, and others. And just over a third are seeing an increase in international competition. Still, most are responding to this competitive pressure by dropping prices. But as long as businesses are focused on keeping up with competitors, rather than forging a new path, B2B e-commerce will continue to evolve slowly, rather than revolutionize the way these businesses achieve their success. This is particularly magnified as price becomes less important to customers than high-quality experiences. According to PwC, customers today would pay up to 16% more for products and services to get a better customer experience. 52% would pay more for a greater e-commerce speed and efficiency, and 43% would pay more for greater convenience. At Sana, we help future-proof B2B e-commerce with a more forward-thinking customer and data-centric approach. Sana's integrated approach to e-commerce can strengthen both your business proposition and your online customer experience. With our solution, we ensure that digital channels use product and pricing information taken directly from one single source of truth, your Dynamics ERP system. We use your ERP to drive the features, functionality, and product information that appear in your web store, so the data is always accurate and updated in real time. When you talk about the traditional approach to e-commerce, you get something that looks like this map. Multiple solution providers that all want you to use their system to run a specific piece of the puzzle. Whether it's the CMS for your B2B store versus your B2C store, solutions used for a call center and internal resources, or additional add-ons to power your business, multiple systems often prove to be siloed and cumbersome to maintain. They also cause issue with user experience, keeping most companies stuck in an e-commerce 2.0 solution that focuses priorities internally on how they can sell more and not externally on what their clients deserve. At Sana, we've taken a different approach and built an e-commerce solution from Dynamics out. That means that we utilize all of the data already stored within your ERP system while providing you a world-class functionality through the Sana CMS that can offer you a B2B, B2C, and internal deployment depending on your needs. When we talk about those different deployments, for our B2C customers, we use that as a public-facing website where you can allow the general public to place orders. Maybe you're just opening up a catalog so that you can attract new clients to purchase from you. This can be done in many different ways, but it exposes your brand to those what we call non-client accounts. With the B2B functionality that we have, this is where your existing clients log in and they have a personalized experience, whether it's from a pricing adjustment, purchasing power, terms that they're allowed, opening up things such as inventory. All of this is what we provide our customers to extend that customer experience so that when your clients are online, they know exactly what their price is, they know exactly what's in stock, and they can do this all on their own time frame. And then from an internal deployment, with the Sana Commerce solution, your internal call centers, your salespeople, they can replicate your clients' buying experiences. And so whether they're in the field, on their cell phone or a tablet, or sitting behind their desk, they will have the exact same purchasing experience as your customers do. This not only keeps everything in one simple process, it also helps from the customer support perspective, where if they have issues with the sites, if they have questions that they can't find answers to, their sales reps know exactly what to look for. And when I say world-class, that's not just our personal opinion. Sana's been named to the Forrester Wave report as one of the top 8 e-commerce platforms in the world, both for their mid-market as well as enterprise segments. We offer an e-commerce platform that is beneficial to businesses in many industries. Whether you're a manufacturer, distributor, wholesaler, or retail business, Sana has a solution that can help you increase your client experience, in turn increasing revenues for your business. As one example, Investments Hardware Limited, better known as IHL, is a Canadian family-owned and operated business that has been dedicated to customer service since 1985. Today, IHL uses a 120,000 square foot warehouse and a 40,000 square foot showroom to meet all of the needs of construction professionals and consumers under one roof. IHL had been selling online since the late 2000s, but their previous web store was starting to show its age. The disconnect with their Dynamics ERP system meant data wasn't in sync across channels, and it wasn't optimized for mobile use. IHL Canada wanted to provide the best possible buying experience for customers and professionals. They sell building and construction supplies not only to DIYers, but also to contractors. Extensive and accurate product information, real-time insight into inventory levels, and the ability to purchase at the right time are the challenges IHL is mastering through the use of technology. They've made strides in perfectly aligning their two main sales channels, that is, their warehouse and their web store. By having both operate based on a single source of truth, Microsoft Dynamics, and by launching Sana website integrated with Dynamics, they've opened up paths to whole new levels of convenience. Contractors can order online one night and pick up their orders first thing the next morning on the way to a site. IHL staff are on hand and happy to load everything in, and there's no time wasted paying. That's already taken care of online. DIYers outside of IHL's local area can benefit from their excellent deals, with prices and inventory guaranteed to be correct. Soon, clients will be able to visit the storefront location, get expert advice from the IHL staff, and then place an order via kiosks running the web store. All this thanks to the use of their existing IT resources, plus the addition of a new tool, Sana Commerce. In summary of what we've shared today and trying to keep it relatively high level and maintain within the 30 minutes we promised, the key takeaways for everybody on the call are the pace of digitization is fast and gaining speed. The time to embrace technology is now. Data and systems should be a top priority in planning for a digital strategy. Distributors can leverage an integrated e-commerce tool to set themselves apart from the competition, and that manufacturers can utilize Sana Commerce to continue their efforts to become lean, agile, and future-ready. Before we get into any questions, if you'd like to continue learning and want to read our latest research report on the current state of B2B buyers, you can download that research report at the link you see there, http://interdyneartist07-2019. And with that, I want to say thank you to the Interdyne Artist team.
Great. Thank you, Ryan. If you do have any follow-up questions that you think of after the fact, then you can contact myself or Ashley Canale or Chelsea Schlepp, and we will be happy to follow up. And if you'd like a more personal demo of the product, we could do that for you as well and get that scheduled.
Perfect. Thanks again for having us.
Thank you, Ryan.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.